Okay, so this is my review of the new Robert Zemeckis film, A Christmas Carol, which stars Jim Carrey, Colin Firth, Gary Oldman, Bob Hoskins, Robin Wright Penn. It's about all I can remember. Yep. And it's about the Charles Dickens novel, A Christmas Carol, and if you don't know his story by now, then you've just been living under a rock for the past 50 odd years or something. But for those who don't know it, and I don't know who doesn't know it, it's about Ebenezer Scrooge, the cranky old man who doesn't like Christmas. And when partly Jacob Marley dies, he 7 years later on Christmas Eve is haunted by him again, and he says that he's going to be visited by 3 ghosts. One is the ghost of Christmas past, present, future, and it's a way of him knowing that he can change and he won't end up like Marley. And yeah, that's the general story. And then he's rehabilitated, he's found his way to enjoy Christmas, and Bob Cratchit, the main character, isn't just about Tiny Tim this time at least. And to be honest about this film, I was disappointed. I was kind of disappointed, if I'm brutally honest. I didn't call it a bad movie, I'm just disappointed by it in general. Now, I was a big fan of The Polar Express. I actually really liked Beowulf as well. It was a great action epic that was great to look at, even though it was kind of odd seeing a very old man's young, finessed ass, to be honest. It was kind of odd seeing that. But anyway, it was a great film. But this for me isn't what I remember as A Christmas Carol. I know it's very much like the book and it's very dark, but for my age even, this is too creepy for me even. It's really dark, it's really kind of scary, it's not a typical family film, and I wouldn't really take my kids to it. If I had kids, I wouldn't really take them to it. It's one of these films that has a lot of potential to be this sort of kid-friendly. You know, we've had Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Up, Fantastic Mr. Fox, even though I wouldn't take your kids to see that either. You've just had all these types of films, and now we've got A Christmas Carol, and it says, oh no, it's time for Christmas again, we've got A Christmas Carol coming around, okay, we'll go see that. And then it'll go, ooh, because some of it is really weird. I mean, they've taken it to new heights that I've never seen in the film before. There's some really creepy characters, and even the ghosts themselves, even the one of Present is really fucking creepy for the most part. He's really kind of, how can you take this seriously, kind of, oh, really? And sometimes you're just going, ugh. And also, with having Jim Carrey as playing Scrooge, who is magnificent playing him, he really suits the part. But if you have Jim Carrey in a film, it's for the laughter, it's for the comic element. Even in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, even in Truman Show, he was there as the comic element, and that's what makes those films so great. But in this, when the comedy comes along, it doesn't seem right, as the mood is so dark. You need either some kind of dark comedy from the Coens to come in and break the tension. It's kind of odd. So generally, even though it's magnificent in 3D, I really recommend, if you're going to see this, see it in 3D, because it's the best 3D film I've ever seen. It's really, really good in 3D. We just have to wait for Avatar, because that'll kick its ass by about miles, because I've seen it in 3D, most of it, for the 60-minute preview, and it was spectacular. It's still probably my best thing to see in 3D, but for a film, full feature length, so far it's been A Christmas Carol. And the performances are really good, even though they look too lifelike. I mean, Colin Firth looks like Colin Firth. Gary Oldman, he looks like Gary Oldman. He looks like a Hobbit version of himself. Then you've got Robin Wright Penn, who looks like a younger version of herself. And then you've got Bob Hoskins, who looks like just a bit titchier and a bit plumper version of himself. It's really odd to see that. And it does have some really good performances and really quite thrilling moments, but that dark mood really sets it down for it being a bit boring and dull for me. I really was taken back from it. It's not the way I remember it being. It's this sort of jolly film that you'd watch at Christmas. I wouldn't watch this at Christmas. This is something that I'm glad I watched, but I won't be watching it again. And for A Christmas Carol, I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. I was disappointed by it, but I did enjoy it. So for me, only a 5.